The living, the dead, can they coexist?
Now's my chance.
Ghosts aren't real. Only gullible people believe that kind of crap.
Welcome back, guys. It's your boy, Alexander Omoni, and today I've got another exciting movie review for you. We're diving deep into the much-anticipated 2024 film, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Now, I know what you're thinking. A sequel after 36 years? Can it live up to the original? Trust me, I had the same thought. But hold on. Grab your popcorn because Tim Burton is back at it again with that dark, twisted, and quirky magic we all love. So, let's break it down. First off, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is a direct sequel to the 1988 classic Beetlejuice. This one stars some of our faves from the original like Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Catherine O'Hara. I mean, come on, who isn't hyped to see Keaton back as the insane ghost Beetlejuice? Also, can we take a moment for Jenna Ortega joining the cast? I'll talk more about her role in a bit, but first, let me know in the comments. Do you think Beetlejuice has stood the test of time? Should they have made a sequel after all these years? All right, let's jump into the plot. This film takes place 36 years after the events of the original movie. Lydia Dietz, remember her? She's now hosting a supernatural talk show called Ghost House with her TV producer boyfriend Rory. They're living their best spooky life until, bam, who shows up? Yep, you guessed it, Beetlejuice. Now, if you thought Lydia was all done with her goth phase, think again. Winona Ryder absolutely nails it in this more mature but still delightfully odd version of Lydia. And while she's navigating her crazy talk show life, things get even weirder when her estranged daughter Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega, gets caught up with a ghost named Jeremy. Who else loves Jenna Ortega? I mean, she's crushing it in everything lately, right? Her character Astrid gets involved with some serious afterlife drama, which, you know where this is heading? Calls for Beetlejuice to stir things up. Now, let's talk about Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton reprises the role in a way that's almost nostalgic, but also refreshing. One thing I really love is that they kept Beetlejuice politically incorrect, just like in the original. There's something about that crudeness that fits so perfectly with the character. No softening around the edges here, guys. So, how does Beetlejuice get back into the mix? Well, Lydia reluctantly calls him for help when her daughter Astrid gets into trouble with a ghostly con man. And, of course, Beetlejuice being Beetlejuice, he's got his own agenda. You know, our guy always has tricks up his sleeve. He demands that Lydia marries him so he can stay in the mortal world. Classic Beetlejuice move. right? Now, here's where it gets wild. The film takes us back into the afterlife in a huge way. Astrid, tricked by Jeremy, is about to board this creepy train to the beyond. We've got sandworms, soul trains, and Beetlejuice deflecting a giant sandworm like it's no big deal. Burton really leaned into that chaotic visual style that we love. It's kind of like the first film, but cranked up to 11 with modern effects. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little surreal. What did you guys think of the afterlife scenes? Did they live up to your expectations? Drop a comment below. Oh, and before I forget, if you're enjoying this review, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support really helps out, and I've got so many more awesome reviews lined up for you. Now back to the film. As things unravel, we see Beetlejuice trying to weasel his way into the wedding. Yep, Rory and Lydia are about to tie the knot, but Rory has his own dirty little secret. Turns out he's not really in it for love, but for Lydia's money. Honestly, who didn't see that coming? And just like that, the wedding goes off the rails. There's mayhem, truth serum, and punches being thrown. You can't say this movie doesn't know how to keep things chaotic, but let's talk about the sandworm scene. Oh my God. This is the part where Astrid, who's quickly becoming the MVP of the movie, summons a sandworm to take down Beetlejuice. And Beetlejuice deflects it like it's nothing. It's one of those moments where you're just glued to the screen like, what on earth am I watching? But in a good way. What do you think so far? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button already. So, where were we? Ah, yes. Chaos at the wedding. Rory's secret comes out and Lydia is not having it. In true Lydia fashion, she decks him, knocking him out cold. Honestly, that punch was so satisfying, right? If you've seen it, let me know in the comments if you felt the same. Lydia's a total badass, and this moment just proves it. But it's not all fun and games. Just when you think things are calming down, Beetlejuice jumps in, ready to seal the deal with that creepy marriage proposal. But wait, there's more. Just as Beetlejuice is about to get his way, his ex-wife Dolores, who, by the way, is played by Monica Bellucci and is totally awesome, shows up to crash the party. She's got some serious beef with Beetlejuice, and let me tell you, the showdown between them is the kind of madness only Tim Burton could pull off. It's full-on bizarre, hilarious, and a little terrifying all at once. Speaking of Dolores, her backstory is just as twisted as you'd expect. This soul-sucking witch who poisoned Beetlejuice centuries ago during the Black Plague. I mean, this movie really went there. You've got to appreciate how Beetlejuice Beetlejuice doesn't hold back. The stakes are high, the drama is intense, and the ghostly hijinks are non-stop. Now back to the sandworm. Remember how Astrid summoned it in the middle of the wedding chaos? Well, here's where it all comes together. The sandworm ends up gobbling up Dolores and Rory, saving Lydia from her nightmare wedding, but not before Beetlejuice tries one last time to marry her. He's totally relentless, but here's the twist. The handbook for the recently deceased comes into play. Yep, Astrid and Lydia figure out that Beetlejuice has been breaking all sorts of afterlife rules. And what happens to rule breakers in the afterlife? That's right, they burst. And in a very Beetlejuice fashion, our favorite bioexorcist inflates like a balloon and explodes. Don't say I didn't warn you about how wacky this movie gets. So, the wedding is officially off. Beetlejuice is taken care of for now, and Lydia and Astrid finally get a chance to breathe. There's a really touching moment where Lydia and Astrid reconnect. Honestly, it's a nice breather from all the chaos. Lydia realizes how much she loves her daughter despite their differences, and Astrid gets some closure on all the afterlife drama she's been thrown into. But of course, this is Beetlejuice, so the warm fuzzies don't last too long. Fast forward to the final scenes. Lydia has quit her spooky TV show Ghost House, deciding to focus on her family. It's a nice full circle moment for her character. She's been through a lot, from nearly marrying Beetlejuice in the first movie to all this madness in the sequel. And it's cool to see her finally at peace. Well, mostly. The movie wraps up with Astrid and Lydia heading off to Dracula's castle. Because of course, why not? Astrid meets a dude named Vlad, and spoiler alert, they end up getting married. But don't get too comfortable because Lydia's still haunted by nightmares of Beetlejuice. The movie leaves us with one last chilling scene. Lydia wakes up from a dream where Astrid has had a child with Beetlejuice. Talk about a cliffhanger. I have to say, they totally left the door open for a third movie, right? What do you guys think? Should there be another Beetlejuice movie? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's talk about the performances for a minute. Michael Keaton, as expected, absolutely slays as Beetlejuice. He brings that same chaotic energy from the original film, and it feels like no time has passed at all. He's still the rude, crude, and hilarious ghost we remember. And it's clear that Keaton is having the time of his life in this role. Winona Ryder is equally brilliant, giving Lydia a lot more depth this time around. You really feel for her as a mother trying to navigate all this supernatural craziness while still holding on to her goth roots. And then there's Jenna Ortega. I gotta say, she's a standout. She brings this fresh, edgy vibe to Astrid that's really fun to watch. Plus, her chemistry with Ryder is on point. They play off each other so well, and it's easy to see why Lydia and Astrid's relationship becomes the emotional core of the movie. Ortega is really carving out a space for herself in these dark, quirky roles, and I'm totally here for it. Before I wrap up, let's talk visuals. Tim Burton absolutely nailed the aesthetic of this film. It's got all the dark, whimsical elements we expect from him, but with modern visual effects that make everything even more surreal. The afterlife scenes are a total trip, like you're walking through a living painting of chaos and weirdness. And the sandworms, don't even get me started on how epic they look in this movie. If you're a fan of Burton's style, this movie is a visual feast. All right, guys. That's my full review of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. It's wild, it's funny, and it's definitely a worthy follow-up to the original. If you're into dark comedies with a touch of horror and a lot of heart, this one's for you. So, what did you think? Have you seen Beetlejuice Beetlejuice yet? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think there's going to be a third movie? And don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe if you enjoyed the review. I've got plenty more movie breakdowns coming your way. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.